Hello everyone and welcome to Gierok Farms. It is a beautiful spring morning and we are about to let the cows in the dairy barn. We got to get the silage laid out and the grain laid out, and then these girls will be lining up to get their morning meal, their breakfast, and then it'll be time for milking, right? Right? This Jersey Brown Swiss cross, she's turning out to be a real timid cow as she grows older here. A really good girl, right? I better get in the barn and help out Dad with feeding so these girls can get inside and indulge in their breakfast. This morning we'll be taking care of chores here and getting some more cattle out on pasture and then some other odds and ends. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, all the cows are in the barn. The milk house is ready, and we are gonna milk here really soon, but we need to go get the heifers sorted out and ready to go for after milking when we're gonna move them. Dad had a good idea that we're gonna let them out into the cattle yard and let them run around for a while, let them get tired before we go to move them. Get that initial sprint out of them. Then they cooperate a little better for us. So we're gonna go get those heifers sorted off, and then we'll get back to milking. We got one bell to put on, and then we got to sort out the heifers we want to stay versus the heifers we want to send up. Okay, we got 8 heifers out front here and 1 dry cow. We got the gates locked up on the hill, so we're gonna let them run around for this morning's milking, get tired on us, and then we will try to bring them to our back pasture like we did that bigger group earlier this year. I don't think the bull is too happy about half of his group being separated off. So what Dad was choosing here was the bigger heifers and the heifers he knows or is pretty confident that are bred. So that's how we decided who to send up and who to keep here. And size and age is a big factor for that. There they go, already exploring. We anticipate they'll be down here in the yard hanging out by the gates here eventually anyways, once they had their fun. Okay, milking is underway, and before we got too into it, I wanted to talk a little bit about how noticeable that it is when it comes to grazing season, and how the pounds have gone up quite a bit here over the past week or so.
And what it is the cool mornings, cool nights. You know, it's been pretty warm in the day. So, I mean, they'll stay out there till 7:30.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a few times now where I had to go get them. So typically, when it gets really hot, they'll just come running home. As soon as that sun comes over the hill, the flies and everything will start after them. And then they don't stay out there as long. The grass is not. It just seems the first growth is your most potent. And the manure gets a little bit looser. We're still feeding some corn silage with haylage because our pile's open. That's going to be shut when we do our hay anyway. But we're just trickling through it. And there's a few fresh cows and heifers. They're looking for their calf because then they won't go grazing, so they get a little something that way too. I think this year, especially the last several days, it's the most milk in history of this farm. I know that for sure. And a lot of it has to do with, we had an awful lot of fresh cows, second lactation cows, some pretty nice heifers, the weather, the fresh grass, everything coming together at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of what we want. We don't always exactly plan for that breeding, but it did work out.
So things are good. We're happy it's spring. So we're gonna keep milking here, and we'll check back in with you guys later.
Okay, so someone did comment on, you know, maybe we don't use enough bedding or something, and probably at the time you're looking at it. So you got to realize right now the cows are on grass. We don't put any straw down at all. And they may lay down in here during milking. They're only in here for 2 hours in the morning and then 2 hours in the evening. But we do have these Krayberg mats. I put these in 05. There's kind of a like octagon and indentations in there, which makes it give a little when she walks on it. That's out of Germany. They're a very good mat, and what they call a puzzle cube. It's actually got, you can see there where they're almost like they're individual, but so if something would get under them, you can still pop them up and pop it out. Seasons when we don't graze, usually it's from about the middle of October till, you know, the 1st of May roughly. Even though they may be out in the day a lot, they're still in overnight. So we'll go through 1 3x4x8 Western straw bales every 6 days. You know, so every day the back half of the soil gets scraped out, goes out with the manure, and then fresh bedding gets put down. So even though they're not always the cleanest, because that's just how cattle can be, and we don't get wild about setting our trainers up, we use them a lot right away in the fall. But anyway, a lot of scraping. Right now in the barn, this year tool is used way more than I want to use it, but we're constantly scraping, but that's how it is. So everything's good.
Okay, we finished with milking. I got the wash running right now up by the dairy barn. And Dad, he was just down here milking some of our fresh cows. We have been having a lot of calves born lately, a lot of cows coming into the dairy herd. We got 4 calves down here, 3 Holsteins and 1 brown Swiss, and they're all doing really well. They're really spunky. And then we have a bunch in the super hut. It's a pretty full house when it comes to baby calves. Like I was saying, we have a pretty full house up here. We have 4 up here, and then we got 1 over there that we just weaned off of milk on the small side. You can hear them bellering. A lot of young heifer calves. We got 1 bull calf over there in the maternity pen. Otherwise, we got a lot of the next generation coming up. A pile of heifer calves right now, which is exciting. It's springtime. It's a perfect time for that. Weather's nice. Great time to be having a bunch of calves on the dairy farm. And now we are on to the exciting project for today. We are moving those heifers. Owen is headed over to our pine trees by our building site to get the majority of the group over here. We got 3 over here right now. I just went to the top of the hill with the 4-wheeler and opened the gate up there in the corner so that that's all prepped and ready to go. We got some extra help, which is great. Darby and my mother are out here helping, and then myself, Dad, and Owen. So nice little group today. And like we were saying, we let these heifers run around for a couple hours, so they should be fairly willing to cooperate.
Yeah.
For a group of heifers, that went really nice. I think that was the ticket to let them get tired all morning. Okay, we got them all in the cattle lane. Now it's time to release them on the pasture.
Otherwise, we'd have a lot more trouble. Let them get that out of it. Tired. They're gonna wander around here and go lay down.
Yeah, I didn't have the camera on, but Dad was just talking about it, how for this group of heifers, it's this is a learning moment for them.
Yeah, they don't know where we're going. Like that first group we brought up, there was a few heifers in there, but the cows know. Some of them been back here as dry cows, but even then they've been on this main pasture. Coming to this corner isn't like they're out of their familiar ground. The instinct is to go a ways and then turn back and go back to the starting point. Then go a little further and then turn back and go back to the starting point. It's like they're just testing it.
Yeah.
And then when we try to force them, they
Really had one that was a pain the whole time.
kind of trying to turn around. There's always one, and then once you figure that out, you kind of got to get hurt. So once you keep all the heads moving in the direction you want to go, but then they'll stop and they'll all turn around and look at you. That's kind of like, well, which one's going to take off running so that the rest will come running behind.
Yeah, we had one that walked through the fence partway, but she's okay. The fence let go, thankfully. And then the other bottleneck was right going into the corral there in the corner. Otherwise, it went really smooth.
Yeah, it seems like once we get them to the top of the hill, it's easier to chase them contour to the hill than keep chasing them up.
Yeah, we had plenty of help with Darby and Owen and my mother. That was nice.
Once Darby started using her sweet voice, our luck was changing for the better.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
So we are back down in the yard and the cows are getting let out right now. The dairy herd's getting put onto pasture. So wanted to end off the video here. Thank you all for sticking to the end. It was a really nice morning chore video along with moving those cattle. It was a very productive morning so far. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to check us out at GierokFarms.com and we will see you next time.